Welcome to Lions Live 365, and I am dropping this on Super Bowl Sunday. And while I'm doing this video, I just wanted to ask a real question. Do you believe that Dan Campbell can get you to this game? Do you believe that Dan Campbell is a good big game coach? I really want you to think. I want y'all to think on this. I saw something that was talking about Brad Holmes being exposed, and I immediately thought, what about Dan Campbell? So I'm going to let you listen to the sound clip about Brad Holmes.
Exposed Brad Holmes. That's what an elite front office executive looks like. They traded away Russell Wilson a year after Holmes traded Stafford. He's flipped the entire roster, all 22. In addition to great drafting, Holmes has done that. In Seattle, they've also prioritized aggressive free agents and big-time trades. Brad Holmes, you got to do the whole job of being the general manager. You got exposed.
Right. Brad Holmes is exposed. That's what people got out of the Seahawks making it to the Super Bowl. Is Brad Holmes got exposed. I'm just going to let y'all know something. The 2025 Seahawks are nothing but the 2023 Lions with a better head coach. I'm sorry. The Seahawks are not a super team. They have a ton of talent littered throughout that entire roster, but the reality is this is not a team that is super talented. Anybody could coach them and they could win. That is not the case. This is not the Houston Texans defense that they have over there in Seattle. It's not. Same thing with the Patriots. They're not super team. There's a reason why no one is out here like, oh, can't wait to watch the Super Bowl. No, this is not one of the more exciting Super Bowls in NFL history. Why? Because it's really just well coached football, not super football. This isn't super. Like they literally go out there and they play chess and they force you to play chess with them and they force you to play good situational football. This is not super teams. This is not a GM job. This is the best coaching that you can possibly have with healthy teams. Mike MacDonald and Clint Kubiak are two head coaches. One is about to coach the Raiders. The other one is it felt like he took the Ravens defense with him when he went to Seattle. That's how good of a coach he is. Like, you're not going to sit here and talk to me as if Uchenna Nwosu and DeMarcus Lawrence are the best pass rushers of all time. They're not. But they get to the quarterback. They find a way. They do a bunch of stunts. They don't blitz a lot. They have a very complex, annoying defense that it works against everybody but the Rams. But at the end of the day, this isn't like a super team. This is a well-coached team with with a lot of guys executing that are extremely healthy. The Patriots are the same thing. And when they got their chance, when they had their shot, they took it and they didn't mess it up. They are the 2023 Lions with better coaching. That's it. That's all. Like this thing oh, the Brad Holmes should have fixed it. No. Dan Campbell, in the biggest game in Lions history, with a 14-point lead, 4th and 2, 7 some odd minutes left in the game, decides on his opponent's 28, he's going to go for it on 4th and 2 for no reason. He kicks that field goal. We're up 3 possessions with a quarter and 7 minutes left. That's idiocy. It's idiocy. You know how high of a rate people hit 45-yard field goals in the NFL? It's they literally hit at an 85% rate. It was an 85% chance that we could have went up 3 points. Went up 17. Instead, we don't do that. We ignite the San Francisco 49ers stadium. We ignite it on fire. Immediately, we somehow allow someone to get a one-on-one when we have a 14-point lead. People talk about Kendall Vildor and all that, but at the end of the day, Kendall Vildor and Brandon Ayuk, regardless of coverage, should never just be one-on-one when we have a 14-point lead. Any deep pass should have two bodies there. But, I mean, that's what a good coach would do. Whether that's the defensive coordinator or the head coach, I would talk to him like, hey, we just had a turnover on downs because I'm an idiot. I did something stupid. We cannot allow a big play in this situation. Then the fumbles and the drops and all that, that's not on the coach. But what happens when we go all the way, when after the 49ers tie the game, we get all the way, they get all the way upfield, they get into the red zone. Our defense gets a sack on second down, gets a sack on third down. They kick a field goal to go up 27-24, and then we go all the way downfield. We have a chance to tie the game and kick a field goal. Our coach goes for it again. Like he didn't learn from the last time. We have a chance to tie the game. If they score that touchdown like they did late in the game, we score our touchdown. Now it's OT. We get a chance to go win the game. But that's not the case because we had Dan Campbell as our head coach, and he made a just massive mistake. And what's happened since that day is we haven't had any health luck at all. It's almost like the football gods cursed us because we went out there and squandered a prime opportunity. And the fact that Dan Campbell had the audacity after that game to say we might never get back here again and we haven't had any injury luck whatsoever is insane to me. I'm not crying, something in my eye. But let's talk about, has he learned from that big game that he found a way for us to lose? Right? Has he learned? Because nobody in the championship game had a 17-point lead in the whole play. Like in the championship game, AFC or NFC, they never had a 17-point lead, but they found a way to just win the game by taking points and playing defense and situational football. But that's neither here nor there. Let's move forward. Let's talk about the 2025 season. Did Dan Campbell learn how to effectively call plays on fourth down? How to take points in crucial situations when they're available, when you're playing quality defenses or when you're playing defensive teams? Did he learn? No. He lost 2 or 3 games this year just not taking points. The Steelers game, he kicks a field goal early instead of going for it on fourth down. All we need is a field goal to win the game late. Lose that game. That's ridiculous. I also want to talk about how in some big games we just seem to be unprepared. Somehow in the first game of the season, our offense is completely unprepared. They don't even know who to block on some plays. After a full training camp, a full preseason, right? So now that this is one of those things like, all right, maybe that's the offensive coordinator's fault, right? But what was my head coach doing? He couldn't tell during any of these scrimmages or practices that we didn't know who to block? I think he did, because I realized that when you look at like the preseason stuff, they were talking about how great the defense was doing. Maybe he just thought Kelvin Shepard was just that awesome at disguising blitzes instead of, hey, we probably just not good at understanding what our assignments are. So when I look at this, it's not a talent thing. We didn't lose to the Vikings because of talent. We didn't lose to the Steelers because of talent. Even the Eagles, we're going for fake punts. We go for it on fourth down 1,500 times and don't get any of them. And what I'm trying to say is, after 2 years, he hasn't learned. Did we look prepared in the Commanders game? No, not really. We didn't have anything new and exciting and smart for that game. We haven't played well after a bye week recently. And and just in case y'all don't know, the Super Bowl, you get a bye week before the Super Bowl. So you need to be able to have, like, what is he doing with the extra time? We should be extremely prepared for these games. And that's the thing that I'm scared of. Can Dan Campbell win big games? Will he panic when the pressure is on? Can he make the conservative decision at the right time in a big game? And that's what just on my mind tonight, because the Super Bowl is tomorrow. And I'm just wondering, why haven't I had the feeling of, hey, the Lions are going to the Super Bowl? The last time I felt that was at in the beginning of the second half of a championship game 2 years ago. We haven't been remotely healthy since that day. So say we do fix everything. Say the GM does his job. Brad Holmes has the ability to have home run all seasons. He's done it before. Say he does. When we get into the big moment, will my head coach make the right decisions? Did he make the right decision about his offensive coordinator? Is it the right decision to keep the same defensive coordinator that struggled the way he did this year? I want to know how y'all feel about it. Do you feel like Dan Campbell is the coach that can win us a championship? And whether it's game day, draft day, or any day in between, it's Lions Live 365. Please like and subscribe. Peace out.